Welcome back everybody, Phil Mendoza with No Limits Archery and another bow hunting made simple video. So today I've got Braden with me. We're going to be talking about quivers. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Braden.
How you guys doing?
We're going to talk about quivers today, and you know, lots of bells and whistles, if you will, but just getting down to the bare bones of any new shooter looking to possibly look at what's really important to know about quivers. You know, why don't you explain to us, you know, some of the different style of quivers?
So we got a few different styles of quivers, guys. This one right here, this is a removable quiver. Removable being that you can take it on and off the bow very, very easily. I say very, very easily, I'm gonna have trouble with it. But you can slide this on and off the bow. And this one right here is a tight spot quiver. It's very adjustable. Then you get into where you have what's called a two-piece quiver. So a two-piece quiver, as the name implies, has two pieces to it. It's permanently mounted to the bow. So this will stay on your bow at all times. So in hunting situations or shooting, you're going to have this quiver on your bow. It holds the arrows very tight to the bow usually. They're a little lighter weight, but this is a two-piece quiver. A couple different companies out there make both of these quivers. Again, like I said, this is a tight spot. This is going to be the Sherpa from Prime for the Prime bows. Some of the struggles with the two-piece you may run into is a lot of them are bow specific, meaning you need the riser cutouts in the bow at the specific locations for some of these quivers, so you have to be careful with that. Whereas on most removable single-piece quivers, they are pretty universal to most bows. There are single-piece bow mounted quivers that are permanently affixed to the bow too, but those are much rarer than what's out there typically.
Yeah, and so when you bring up the quivers, I want to show something real quick, because in a previous video that we did on arrow rests, you know, the cables that function, this is just a little side note, a little extra. You see the arrows really protect that cable. So it's another one of those things that come about when we talk about the components on a bow. But Braden, in addition to one piece or two piece, then you've got the options of 3 arrow, 4 arrow, correct. 5, right?
Correct.
And talk a little bit about that. I mean, you're a guy that I've hunted with many times that, you know, oftentimes we may be putting everything on our back and we may be in for 5 or 6 days hunting somewhere, right? So explain some of the features that you may see as beneficial to a new bow hunter that's asking those type of questions.
So sometimes, you know, they've even got up to 7 quiver arrows, right? In the backcountry, the more ammo you have, the better, right? So you don't have to come out. So sometimes I've seen some very interesting setups. I've seen, you know, a 7 arrow quiver on a bow with more arrows in the pack back at camp. I've seen all kinds of different options. Personally, I like a 5 arrow quiver with a couple extra arrows in my pack to come in so that I have those extra arrows. But that's typically what I run, is kind of that 5 arrow quiver. Now, if I'm in a tree stand and I'm doing some whitetail hunting or something like that, where I'm not very far from civilization, I'm not very far from my stuff, I may just take a 3 arrow quiver. For the simple fact is I don't want to carry that many arrows, and I typically, hopefully, don't need more than 3 arrows out there. And that's say something, but typically I don't go much under a 5 arrow quiver, and now they have different styles for that as well. There's companies out there that make a more, they call it a tree stand specific. It's got bells and whistles that are more convenient in a tree stand versus in the field, different lengths, that kind of thing.
So again, the common question that you're going to hear, whether it's if you come into No Limits Archery or you go to a different pro shop, we're always trying to figure out what type of hunt you're going to be going on primarily. And again, Braden just mentioned a couple very different types of hunts. Sitting in a tree stand to packing in the high country of Colorado, for example, 2 completely different setups, but quivers that can be used in both applications.
Absolutely.
But at the same token, there are some manufacturers that cater towards one type of hunt or another. So when you walk into a pro shop and they start asking you questions, that's a good thing, right? Because we're really trying to figure out what's going to be best suited to your style of hunting in as many scenarios as possible. And if you're the type of person that budget isn't as much of an issue, and you have multiple bows, for example, or a backup bow, maybe one bow is set up for one style of hunting and another for a different style. That brings us to a newer quiver on the market, right? This is new this year from Tight Spot, which ton of versatility.
So this falls into the two-piece mounted quiver to the bow. However, it offers a lot more versatility than companies have in the past as far as angles. You can change this so that you can change the weight of your bow and the balance of your bow, similar to a stabilizer system, or to aid with the stabilizer system. So the versatility of this quiver is very, very high. Being it's very new, we haven't got a whole lot of time to play with it ourselves, but this has been very popular as far as things we're liking to think about and look at for a quiver to take into the backcountry or to take hunting anywhere with us.
And so, what Braden's talk. So when we talk about hugging tight to a riser, when you look at the front of a bow and the way that where these quivers mount, some of them will get a little tighter to the riser. A quiver like that actually has the ability to move in different positions, so you can cater where you want the hood and the arrows, the gripper portion, you can move it around. So in addition to being able to hug tight to the riser, which is a benefit, this new one moves around.
Yeah, because I mean, when you think about it, right, guys, we've got, let's just say, just for simple, you got a 5-arrow quiver, you're shooting 100-grain broadheads. So you've got 5 arrows in here with 100 grains apiece up top. That's a substantial amount of weight up here that you can move around to help it balance that bow better, and balancing of the bow makes it shoot better in the end. So the versatility to be able to do that is a huge advantage, I think. And Tight Spot started that a long time ago. Even with their removable quiver, it is adjustable so that you can kind of move it around to customize your bow as well. But there are other quiver manufacturers out there doing similar things, but just these are examples we're using right now.
Yeah, and just so you know, as a reference, these ones that we just pulled off, these are actually customer bows that we're working on downstairs. So we just pulled them off the shelf as a display. But these are higher end quivers. When you get higher end, you got more adjustability, bells and whistles, and more components that are made out of aluminum. When you go down in the price scale, more parts made out of plastic and less adjustability. So just like anything, that phrase, you get what you pay for, is very much true in this respect from a durability standpoint. Features, there's some good features on some of the quivers that are made of plastic. But again, durability wise, yeah, you're definitely going to get what you pay for. So this is again a general overview. Somebody that's new to bow hunting, or maybe just somebody considering an equipment upgrade. Some features that are out there. As always, come into the pro shop, ask questions, go to your local pro shop, ask questions. Comment below if there's anything else that there's a different question that we didn't cover on this, again, general bird's eye view video. Comment down below. We'll add more videos to the Bow Hunting Made Simple series that's directly meant to help you from a terminology standpoint to an accessory standpoint, and just help you better understand your setup and be more successful in the field. So,
absolutely.
All right, that's all we got for this one. We'll see you soon.